While the alpha males scream to be heard and beta males follow in their shadow, the sigma male remains unaffected. He walks to the rhythm of his own heartbeat, carving his unique path through the chaos, unburdened by the shackles of societal expectations. But don't mistake his quiet demeanor for weakness. Sigma men are the silent architects of power, masterminds of strategy, and the symbol of rebellion. They are lone wolves, but they are also the ones with hearts full of burning passion and minds with limitless ambition. In this cutthroat world, the Sigma stands apart, unfazed and untamed, refusing to dance to the tune of conformity. Here are 12 unspoken rules of Sigma men you definitely can't ignore. Number 1. Tell nothing to many and everything to a few. The first rule is to keep your cards close. While others spill their thoughts to anyone with an ear, Sigmas are more discerning. It's like the game of poker, where revealing your hand too early can cost you the game. They prefer to keep their plans and secrets to themselves, sharing only with a select few who've earned their trust. Privacy is their shield, and they wear it proudly. These men have walked through the fire of betrayal, making them cautious about who they allow into their inner sanctuary. Trust is a big deal, and not everyone deserves it. They've learned that having a few trusted friends is better than a crowd of shallow acquaintances. The word friend has a deeper meaning for Sigma, not to be thrown around lightly. They'd move mountains for the people they care about, standing by them through thick and thin. But if someone turns toxic, they'll cut ties without a second thought. It's a rare move, but when it happens, they never look back. Number 2. Move in silence. Let your success make all the noise. Sigma men are like ninjas moving in the dark, treading softly but carrying a big stick. They don't need to brag about their accomplishments or parade their success for everyone to see. It's not their style. They just let their actions do the talking. A Sigma is like a chess grandmaster, carefully and quietly positioning his pieces, making seemingly insignificant moves that, when viewed in isolation, don't reveal his master plan. But before you know it, in a sudden flash of brilliance, he's got you in checkmate. This is the essence of move in silence. Let your success make all the noise. Think of a lion on a hunt. It doesn't roar when it's sneaking up on its prey. It's the silent approach that lands the kill. Your success should be the roar that echoes, not your words. Sigma men are the silent warriors, working tirelessly behind the scenes, which makes their victories even sweeter. They don't need to announce their every move or seek attention. While others try to prove their worth, Sigmas are busy creating it. They don't need validation from anyone. They know what they're capable of, and that's enough. Number 3. Choose battles carefully. Win the war quietly. Sigma men don't engage in every conflict that comes their way or jump into confrontations impulsively. They choose their battles wisely, knowing that not every fight is worth their time or energy. They don't waste their breath arguing with fools or getting caught up in trivial matters. They just focus on the bigger picture and plan their moves strategically. Empty barrels make the most noise. They let others scream and shout while they remain calm, observing their opponent's weaknesses. And when the time is right, they strike with precision and efficiency, leaving their opponents speechless. Their victories are often quiet, not celebrated with pomp and show, but acknowledged with a knowing nod and quiet satisfaction. They don't need to shout from the rooftops. Their achievements speak for themselves. As the saying goes, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. This doesn't mean that Sigma men actively seek conflict or are naturally aggressive. Far from it. They'd rather avoid it altogether. But when pushed into a corner, they know how to stand their ground and emerge victorious without losing their cool. They're like water, calm and peaceful until you try to contain them. Then they'll flow around you and break free. Number 4. Embrace solitude as a sanctuary, not a prison. Often misperceived, solitude for a Sigma man is not a self-imposed exile, but a chosen retreat. It's their sacred space where they recharge, reflect, and reconnect with themselves. They're not loners, they're just comfortable in their own company, much like a lone wolf who stands apart from the pack, yet remains unfazed and self-assured. It's not lost, it's free. It roams the wilderness, not out of despair but by choice. It's not about isolation, it's about independence. They don't fear solitude, they seek it, they thrive in it. There's a misconception that being alone is synonymous with being lonely, but this isn't the case for Sigma. Think of it as a man cave of the mind. The Sigma man's solitude is his secret weapon. It's like Bruce Wayne retreating to the Batcave. It's not a sign of weakness or isolation. It's his source of power. Quiet moments alone fuel their creative ideas and strategies, enabling them to return into the world stronger, wiser, and ready to take on whatever comes next. Number 5. Adapt like a chameleon, evolve unseen. Have you ever watched a chameleon in action? One minute it's blending in with the lush greenery. The next it's mirroring the rough bark of a tree. Much like these fascinating creatures, Sigma men are masters of adaptation. They're not rigid or stuck in their ways, but fluid and adaptable. They can blend in seamlessly with any group or situation without losing their core identity. But unlike the chameleon, Sigma men don't change for others. They evolve for themselves. They aren't flashy with their transformations either. They evolve quietly, without the world watching. That is why people think they're mysterious or hard to read. Think of it like a submarine silently gliding through the ocean's depths. It can navigate treacherous terrains, endure immense pressure, and adapt to varying conditions, all while maintaining a stealthy presence. It doesn't sound like a trumpet announcing its arrival or departure. It simply does its job, surfaces when necessary, and disappears without a trace once the mission is accomplished. Number 6. Always apologize when needed. Apologies aren't a sign of weakness. They're the cornerstone of respect. As Winston Churchill said, courage is what it takes to stand up and speak. Courage is also what it takes to sit down and listen. The alpha male is often too proud to admit when they're wrong. They let their ego get in the way, causing friction and conflict. Sigma men recognize when they're wrong and aren't afraid to admit it. They don't let their ego dictate their actions or words. If they've hurt someone, they'll apologize sincerely and make amends. This shows their strength of character and earns them respect from those around them. They're not afraid to say sorry. It doesn't make them any less of a man. It takes courage and maturity to own up to your mistakes. They apologize when it's the right thing to do. And this is a testament to their maturity and emotional intelligence. Number 7. Trust is earned, not given. Sigma men don't hand out trust like cheap party favors. Trust is like a rare, priceless gem, hard-earned and given to only a select few. Once broken, it is like a cracked mirror. You can try to repair it, but you can still see the cracks in that reflection. So they tread carefully in this territory, observing actions over words, consistency over promises, and character over charisma. They value authenticity and transparency, and only those who show these traits earn their trust. This isn't about being skeptical or cynical. It's about being wise and discerning. Think of it like a bank account. You can't withdraw money until you've deposited some first. Sigma men don't deposit their trust unless they see someone worthy of it. And even then, they're always cautious and aware that things can change instantly. This approach might seem a bit cautious or even aloof to others, but for Sigma, it's just a smart strategy. Number 8. Speak sparingly. Listen intently. Much like a wise old owl perched high up in the tree, observing and listening to the world below while staying silent. This doesn't mean Sigma has nothing to say, quite the opposite. He knows when to use his words for maximum impact. He isn't the one to dominate a conversation with a storm of words. He listens, absorbs, and then responds thoughtfully. While others might be busy trying to impress or prove a point, Sigma is quietly observing and learning. They use their silence as a tool, letting others reveal their cards while they remain in control. Remember the old saying, "You have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so you should listen more than you say." Talking is easy. Listening takes skill. People are often drawn to Sigma men because they make them feel heard and understood. They don't give unsolicited advice or try to fix everyone's problems. Their presence alone is enough to provide comfort and reassurance. Number 9. Be unapologetically yourself. Being unapologetically yourself is not just a catchy Instagram bio for a Sigma male. It's a way of life. He holds his authenticity as his highest badge of honor. He's not swayed by fads, trends, or peer pressure. The Sigma has his own unique rhythm, and he dances to it without hesitation or apologizing. It's like a jazz musician in the middle of a soulful solo. He's not playing to the crowd, but to the beat of his own heart. Sure, not everyone might get it, but he doesn't play for applause. He plays because it's his passion, and it's real. He's not trying to fit into a mold or meet society's expectations. He's his own man with his own values and beliefs. He wears his individuality with pride and conviction, like a knight wears his armor. As Oscar Wilde beautifully put it, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." Trying to be someone else is not only exhausting, it's pointless. Why try to be a second-rate version of someone else when you can be a first-rate version of yourself? Number 10. Question everything, but find your own answers. Imagine walking into a room full of people nodding their heads in agreement to something you fundamentally disagree with. Would you join the chorus just to fit in? Not a Sigma man. He's the guy in the back, arms crossed, brow furrowed, processing it all, but not buying it just because everyone else is. He's not contrary for the sake of it, but he doesn't take things at face value either. He questions everything, not out of arrogance, but genuine curiosity. It's like a treasure hunt, and he's looking for his own answers. This doesn't mean he's dismissive of others' opinions or insights, but he always takes the time to form his own. He values critical thinking and independent thought over blind conformity. Think of it like a detective solving a mystery. He doesn't just accept the first lead he's given. He examines all the evidence, connects the dots, and forms his own conclusions. A Sigma man is not afraid to ask the tough questions or challenge the status quo. He's seeking truth, even if it means going against popular beliefs or norms. Number 11. Avoid needy, dramatic people. Nothing's worse than being stuck with someone who's just a non-stop buzzkill, endlessly complaining about their problems. Life's too short for that kind of negativity. Sigma men are not cold. They're pragmatic. They know that energy is contagious and choose to surround themselves with positive, uplifting people. They don't have the time or patience for drama queens or overly needy individuals. In a world where others might use your generosity or kindness as a weakness, these men know how to draw healthy boundaries and protect their energy. They carefully choose their inner circle, preferring quality over quantity. This doesn't mean they're selfish or uncaring. They are actually fiercely loyal and supportive of those who earn their trust. But toxic people don't make the cut. They don't have the time or energy to waste on unnecessary drama and negativity. Number 12. Be a wolf, not a sheep. This isn't about predatory behavior, but about being a leader rather than a follower. About thinking independently instead of just going with the herd. It's not about being an alpha. Sigma men don't seek or need power over others. But they are leaders in their own right, with their own code of conduct and principles. While they don't actively seek out the leadership role, they won't shy away from it either if it's necessary. They just won't blindly follow others' orders if it doesn't make sense to them. It's not about being rebellious or defiant. It's about having the courage to stand up for what's right and inspiring others to do the same.